Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Good to have a return appearance from our friends from SunCoast Market Co-op. We got Yvette Beltran, the outreach coordinator, and we have Shannon Ratliff, board vice president. And it is great to see you folks. We were a little sheepish because we made a commitment
that we didn't follow through on.
We did not follow through, so mea culpa on me
and me.
And, well, I'm not sure.
I made a commitment as well, and I've been thinking about it, and we're going to remedy it. We're going to be members like tomorrow.
100% on that.
It's the perfect time. Perfect time.
There you go. We were waiting for the perfect time.
We had to wait for the perfect time.
We did.
So our apologies for that. Kristen, fire away. You have a question for Shannon.
Yeah, let's just get right into the mission of the organization. Let's hear more.
Yeah, SunCoast Market Co-op is a grocery cooperative. And so what that means is it's a community-started, community-run organization that is opening a grocery store. The grocery store will open in Imperial Beach, but serve the South Bay. And we opened because there is not very good access to nutritious foods in Imperial Beach, but we have great access to fast food, liquor, and convenience stores.
Yes.
And this is common in a lot of communities. And so what our goal is to open a grocery store that increases access to fresh, nutritious, healthy foods, and also supports local farms, local food producers, and community health.
And how long has this effort kind of been underway?
So grocery co-ops take 7 to 10 years to open.
Wow.
So it's a long process of organizing and learning and fundraising.
Is that because of government regulations or just the way it is?
It's just the way it is because it literally is a grassroots effort to open a full service grocery store. So without corporate backing, without financial backing, every single thing is done by the community itself, which is great because then you get exactly what you need, right? So our needs in our community are unique to the South Bay and Imperial Beach. But it does mean that every single step is done by that organization. It has to be paid for each step of the way. And so it takes a long time. And in San Diego, there's only one other grocery co-op. It's Ocean Beach People's Food Co-op. And so a lot of our work in the early years was educating people on even what a co-op is and why they would be interested in it. And so for us, in 2015, we started organizing, trying to figure out how to get a grocery store at all in Imperial Beach. When we decided on a co-op, we had to do a lot of the organizing process. So it was really the late 2017, early 2018 when we started taking community members, actually forming the co-op. And then we had COVID. But we are going to be opening in fall of 2024. So we'll be opening here soon.
How exciting. So
a long time coming, very exciting times for us.
Right. Is there a date of the grand opening?
Not yet. There's so many moving parts with that. Okay. So once construction starts, we'll have a better timeline. But as it goes, construction is a unpredictable
Construction's construction, yes.
So you started this thing in 2015, whatever, around that area, and you're slowly building this, right? Now, there's 85 different first processes that all have to happen at the same time, which is almost impossible to do, and I can certainly understand that. Certainly, the land is important, right? And then building whatever the infrastructure is. Is there something that throughout the way, okay, now we got the land, now we got the frame up and all that business, and now we're starting to put food in it, but nothing's really open officially, correct?
That's right. Yeah, so we anticipate starting construction soon.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, and the construction part is probably the faster part. The permitting process, the getting electricity into the space, it's adequate for a grocery store, those things all just take the time that they take. But we are pretty confident in a fall open date.
Right, exactly. And how much of it is approvals from, different government entities? Is this safe? Is it, following these types of rules and guidelines? No, you can't sit there and do X, Y, and Z because Agent Orange was built on this project, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, it has the same standards that any business would have. So it is a business. Right. It's a cooperative corporation by the state of California. So it's a typical business. We have the same process there. Yeah. We are so fortunate that we have tremendous support from the city of Imperial Beach. Nice. And so we haven't had barriers that maybe a lot of businesses would have in different cities. With the support of the city, we've been able to move through things quickly, and the community is very supportive. We have almost 1,200 community owners who have invested in the co-op. So they've all paid $200 to be a part of it.
1,202.
Yes.
Yeah. No, and is that pretty much the bulk of the fund raising is the community members or a component of it?
Yes. The membership cost of $200 is a small part of the actual project cost. Yeah. It's just about a $4 million project.
Right.
And so the bulk of our fundraising has been through grants and donations.
Right.
So it's quite a long process. When you ask about the time it takes to open, fundraising is not fast. So far, we haven't had anyone who wanted to back the project completely. So each of those steps has had to be funded through grants or donations. And so at this point, we've raised about $2 million.
Congratulations.
And thank you. We have about $1.5 million left to raise if we want to open without any debt.
Right.
We have a $700,000 that we need to raise here before we open, though.
Right. We're chatting with Shannon Ratliff, Board Vice President for SunCoast Market Co-op, joined by her colleague, Yvette Beltran, doing cooking workshops, Latino outreach. She's an outreach coordinator. I'm Drew Schlosberg. As you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. For 6 decades, they've been doing just very cool things. Joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She is the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc., celebrating their 20th anniversary this year. Maybe you guys should have a joint celebration. What do you think?
That would be fun. All sorts of, I don't know, cooking, writing, all the things, they all go together.
Cooking and writing go hand in hand.
They go hand in hand. I have a question, actually. I want to get into, the cooking workshops and things like that. And maybe, Yvette, you can take this one. I don't know. But
absolutely.
Many of us only know co-ops through the OB market, right? So maybe you can talk us through with your research and everything. How will they be similar? How will they be different? Just starting kind of from a place that us local San Diegans know.
That's a really good question. I'll take that, and then I'll have Yvette talk about our cooking programs.
Great.
So it'll be very similar in that it is community-owned.
Okay.
And so the decision-making process lies within the ownership or membership of the co-op. It's run by a board of directors elected from that ownership. Mm-hmm. And the goal is to provide nutritious, local, healthy food. So in that way, we'll be very similar. Some ways we'll be different is OB People's Co-op is a vegetarian co-op. That's a decision that their ownership made, and it works very well in that community. For us, it'll be different. We'll be more of like a conventional store. We'll have a mix of items and conventional and organic items. Mm-hmm. So for us in Imperial Beach, really the priority is how do we get more food options to people, more nutritious food options. But we also plan to support 150 local farms and producers in the process. So
very cool.
Similar.
Okay. But and will everything be local or no? Just, some of it? Okay.
We can't buy everything local. So people expect to be able to buy toilet paper, toothpaste, and bananas all the time, right?
Right.
Yeah. But whenever possible and whenever practical, we will be sourcing locally. And I think this is really important to mention because the true value in a cooperative is not only is it tailored to the needs of the community, but it supports businesses that otherwise don't have an outlet. So most farms and producers are relying on farmers markets. That's a very tough for a small business to be able to do.
Sure.
A co-op provides 7 days a week sales opportunities for them.
Yeah.
And co-ops are really committed to supporting the growth of those small businesses and sort of become incubators of these small businesses in the county. So we plan to support in every way possible.
Very cool.
So I want to hear about the cooking workshop.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, absolutely. So in addition to, everything that's going on with the SunCoast market, part of this, is accessibility to local organic foods. And if already in IB, there's already a lack of that. So we have to teach our community, hey, once this pops up, what can we do with the ingredients that are inside of this market? So we've been creating a series of workshops, and this is specifically for the Latino community. So we've been bringing them in, a lot of parents, grandparents, community members, really open to the entire public. We've been working with the Boys and Girls Club of South County, and they've provided us with this space to be able to just host these cooking classes in the morning. So once a week on Wednesdays, we get together, and we usually have a chef or a local cook that comes in and just teaches us how to take some of our favorite foods. Like we made tacos the other day, and we made veggie tacos instead of, using some meat. So just giving some healthier alternatives of like, how do you use the ingredients that are that will be in the market?
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you a cook, Kristen? You cook a lot?
I've become a better cook over the years. I will say that. Yeah.
Do you do more organic and healthier, or just depends?
I'm trying to these days. Yeah. And I took a few cooking classes when I was backpacking around India. So I've incorporated a lot of those spices and ingredients and things like that over the years.
Right.
So.
And I know, I think we might have talked about this before, Shannon. Listen, there's no question that childhood obesity is at epidemic crisis, form. It's been that way for a while, and we know what that leads to. It'll be crushing our health system if we don't get this under control. And not just pointing at South County, it's all over for that aspect of it. But they do point out, in those areas that are maybe a little more underrepresented, you tend to eat more of those processed foods and so forth in that. This must be so welcomed by this Imperial Beach community.
It is. I think when we look at public health, people are eating the food that's available to them and affordable to them.
Yeah.
And if you're in South County, it's very apparent the type of food that is available to most community members. It's very different. You're not going to have the same experience driving around in other areas of the county. And so we see a loss of grocery stores in low to moderate income communities all across the nation. Stores are closing all of the time and leaving low and moderate income communities. And that leaves people with limited options. And if you think about transportation issues, then it compounds the problem, right? And so cooperatives are an emerging solution to that. They were very popular in the 70s, and they served a different need. But we're seeing a huge resurgence of cooperatives across the nation right now because people are losing grocery stores and there's no alternative. What are you going to do but try to find a way to do it yourself?
Yeah, we'll come back from a break. I want to talk more about this and the funding of these, entities. You're raising close to $4 million to open up, later this fall and so forth. But as you said, in some cases, it's sometimes you don't have those corporations that are out there going, we need to do this. It is the right thing to do anyway for 75 different reasons in this. So obviously you're getting the members at $200 a pop and all that and everything else. Let's talk about that funding as well. And then, want to talk about Latino outreach. That's something that you're involved with, Yvette, as well. And then what our listeners can do, certainly become members, explore, whatever the case may be, get ideas for recipes, I guess, maybe somewhere down the road. We return with our friends from SunCoast Market Co-op. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast on our 18th year. We are brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, doing very cool things. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Just so cool to have back on a return appearance for our friends from the SunCoast Market Co-op, Shannon Ratliff. She is the board vice president, joined by her colleague Yvette Beltran. I'm joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel, executive director of San Diego Writers Inc. Before Kristen gets into a question for you folks on this, Shannon, before break, we're talking about funding. Okay, and as some of these communities are losing their markets, that is a tough deal for 75 different reasons on this. Do you see corporations ever getting to the dance on this, or it's not a big enough profit margin for them?
I think there's a lot of opportunities for corporations to get involved, particularly healthcare organizations. When we're looking at nutritious food availability, what better way to impact public health than
100%.
to invest in that? And so we would love to see more healthcare organizations investing in the community around projects like this. We'd also love to see any other community-facing organizations, that have an interest in the communities where they operate, investing into the community health and the needs in the community. So I think there's a lot of opportunities there. And again, co-ops support so many different types of businesses. So if you're interested in the local economy and the economic impact or environmental sustainability, this is definitely a project that you want to be involved in.
Yeah, no question. Kristen?
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about this March 14th event with the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Sure.
So on March 14th, we are going to host a kickoff event to our cooking workshops, our healthy cooking workshops, and that's going to be hosted by the Boys and Girls Club. And so we're really inviting anybody who would like to come at 9:30 a.m. We will be in the gymnasium, and this is actually going to be focused in on the tortilla. So we're going to be learning about the history of the tortilla and all that goes into actually making one of the ingredients that we love so much, especially here in San Diego with our tacos. So we're going to be focused on that and how to make them from handmade, basically, from the entire process.
I want to go. I could survive off of tortillas alone. So
Same. Absolutely. Exactly.
Let me put my vote in that as well. And this will be down in Imperial Beach. Where's it going to be?
Yes, it's going to be at the Boys and Girls Club in Imperial Beach, it's in South.
It's off 9th and Coronado Avenue.
Thank you.
You can just Google that. You can just Google where that is. It starts at 9:30, right?
Yes, 9:30 a.m.
Right, exactly. And how long does it go till?
It's going to go till about 11:30, 11:45.
Okay.
So we're going to have...
I'm checking my calendar.
Right. So when Kristen goes to this,
I can teach you.
Yeah.
You're reading my mind, which is
I know you're not going to go that early, so I'll just learn and we'll just do it on the show.
I'm up at 5:30 in the morning every day.
But you're dealing with your dog. You don't want to make tortillas, so I'll just go for us.
Right,
it's fine.
I am dealing with the dog. Well, a tortilla for the dog or something like that.
Maybe.
That's an aspect of it.
Exactly.
That's terrific. I think what you folks are doing, and you would love to see this expand throughout San Diego County. That's the understatement of the world. Is there a part of the U.S. whereby they really get it with co-ops? There's a lot of co-ops in this region, and here's why.
Oh, we see a lot of co-ops in the Midwest.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because of the farms, is that why? No.
I think there's a lot of farms. I think also you don't have as many large cities, so accessibility to foods is limited unless you're driving farther. And also just culturally, it's part of the part of living in Wisconsin or Minneapolis or in Michigan. So we see a lot of co-ops there. We love to be a mentor for more co-ops to open in San Diego County. We'll be the first to open in just 50 years.
Awesome.
There's been no co-ops opening in San Diego County. And we'll be the first to open in the country in a predominantly Latino community. And so what we hope is that people can utilize our experience and the knowledge we've gained to start doing the same in their own communities. I think every single community should have its own cooperative, right, to meet their needs of fresh and nutritious foods.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And you mentioned a little surprised you by that, but it makes sense, right? Without corporate money that's going to, help support this, you're doing this from everything from we need to look at this, lights. I'm preaching to the congregation, for God's sake. I mean, what a an entree into you becoming a builder. You next thing you know, you'll be building homes, for God's sake. And, probably you feel like that in many ways.
Sometimes
being a general contractor, in this area. So, what can our listeners do to support your efforts? Obviously, become members would be good. Going to events that you're talking about, Yvette. What else can they do?
If anybody's interested in community health, economic development, environmental sustainability, supporting local farms and producers, this is a project that you want to support by becoming a member in the co-op. $200. We have payment plans, financial assistance, so that anybody can be a member. We also take donations. So we have a large equipment fund, about $750,000 worth of equipment that needs to be purchased. On our website, you can donate towards that equipment fund. We accept any donations of any amount. So donating is great. And then also spreading the word, right? Yep. Talking about co-ops, talking about SunCoast, sharing our social media, increasing awareness. We really want to see cities and counties and states backing projects like this, right? That's such a public health impact.
Right.
For $4 million is nothing, right? For the impact that it can have on public health and the local economy. And so really this should be something that gets a lot of support.
Right. Do you see this expanding? So now here I am. I'm already expanding your business, haven't opened up the doors yet. But let's say here you are in the fall, right? And your grand opening, it's great. And X, Y, and Z. And we're going to be very optimistic that the support's going to be, this isn't big enough. We need to expand immediately because we have so many people that are interested. Is there room for that expansion?
Yeah, we plan to expand over time.
Okay.
We are very conservative financially, right?
Smart.
Because we are a community run organization. And so we want to make sure that not only do we get up and running, but that we're successful and sustainable and that we stay, that we're not another grocery store that leaves a community.
Right.
And so we do plan to scale up over time. And there is the option to do that.
So here's what we'd like to do. Charles Parisi, my business partner and the founder and CEO of Cloudcast Media, we love doing remotes. And what we would love to do is when you have that grand opening is do a remote from there.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
And actually interview the people that are coming in. We'll get Kristen to be there available. Are you teaching in the fall? You're not sure yet?
No.
Okay, so we'd love to do that. And I see Charles nodding in the background. That is something that we will absolutely do. And that's fun to get that squared away, interview people as they're tasting their legumes. And that's amazing. I couldn't even tell you what a legume is. I just know.
Well, you're going to eat some.
I'm going to eat some. All right,
Okay.
I'm going to have to eat healthy. We'll start with you on this, Yvette. Any final comments?
Just if you would like to come out to the March 14th kickoff event, we'd love to have you. And support SunCoast in whatever capacity that you can.
Very, very good. How about you, Shannon?
Yeah, same. I think first, Yvette has done a tremendous job with our community outreach. We have a lot of different cooking programs and things over the years because community health is what we're doing, right? We want to impact community health. So come to our events, definitely visit our website, learn more about us. And if you can contribute in any way, it's more than appreciated.
Yeah, almost what you were saying before, there's so many things that this would be a community, a connector, so to speak. I think, Kristen, certainly in the world she's lived, writing and books and literacy, I can't think of a better connection, maybe doing a book fair or whatever. She knows how to do those things very well. At one of these things over here, connecting literacy with the market. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I don't know. Well, I mean, story is everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So, I think it's a fabulous partnership to ponder for sure.
Exactly. My job is to create more work for.
No, absolutely.
Kristen, how am I doing?
But that's not a terrible idea. It's not one of the worst you've had. So good job.
Good,
you bring up a really cool part about co-ops, though, is that
Yes.
because it's community owned, you do whatever the community
That's
needs,
right.
right? And so community education, community events, pop-up events,
Right.
these are parts of co-ops that make them different than any other grocery store you're going to, right? It's
Right.
not a corporation
That's right.
that's thinking about the bottom line. This is an organization that's working to serve the needs of the community. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I think maybe we'll have even a book drive on this fall event. Over
All
here.
right, it's time to end the show.
Thanks for
appreciate it.
planning our grand opening.
Not a problem.
I'll take you up on that.
Yeah, it's Kristen Fogel, 839-284. I'm making up numbers over here. Shannon and Yvette, so good to see you folks again. Thank you. And we'll certainly have you back on as it gets closer to that opening in the fall. And just wishing you nothing but great work on this, great luck. It's a lot of hard work, to say the least, on this thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be cool to see this thing come to fruition.
Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so
Absolutely our pleasure. We've been chatting again with our friends from SunCoast Market Co-op. I'm Drew Schlosberg, as you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We hope you enjoyed the program.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.